We're live, Heather.
All right, okay. Okay, so welcome everybody to our IELTS webinar at Spracha Language College. Thank you for joining us today. We have a team of us from across the campuses here in Canada to talk about this program and give you some more information about why it's going to help you be successful in the exam and also prepare you for university or immigration in Canada. So I'll first introduce myself. My name is Heather. I'm the Academic and Pathway Manager at SSLC Toronto. And today we also have Miriam, who is our IELTS teacher at the Victoria campus. Welcome. Corey is our director of the Vancouver campus. And we also have Elias, who is our pathway manager and also marketing manager. So welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us today. So if we can get our slides ready to go here, we can share some information about the program. So first of all, what is the IELTS program? IELTS is the International English Language Testing System. It's recognized all around the world in more than 140 countries and over 10,000 organizations. This includes universities, businesses. For immigration purposes around the world, you can use this language test result to prove your ability and get into those programs that you want to study or to work in. So maybe we should talk about why you should study this program, IELTS. Miriam, maybe you can give us some details. Why do students take this program?
Okay. Yeah, thank you for having me. Students can, take this program because this test is designed to help students to come to Canada or any countries that their English is their native language. Just they need this test to be able to work or to study or to immigrate. So it's a kind of, just something, a result that you need to be able to just immigrate or go to university. So the best way to be successful in this test is just to take classes because you need to be ready for this test.
Great. And can you tell us a little bit about the IELTS exam? Like, what skills does it test? What does it cover?
The IELTS test, actually assess all 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. The thing that I believe about the IELTS test and studying for the IELTS is just not only helps you to be able to pass the test, it also helps you to improve all the skills that you need if you want to, just to go to any country that the English is a native, to be able to just to live, not just survive, but to live in a, level that you have in your own country, just in a more advanced way. So, and it will works on all, by taking this test and preparing for this test, actually you can improve all different skills and then be very comfortable living in another country and do whatever you want to do, not just survive in another country, in the country that the English is a native language.
Great. And so what are the advantages of this program? Like, how is it going to prepare them for the exam? What things will they study in the class with you?
For taking the IELTS test as a teacher, I can say that no matter what your level of English is, you must take these classes because it prepares you for the test. It's your English knowledge plus the test taking, just tips and strategies that you need to learn and prepares you for that. So even in my opinion, even a native speaker, if they want to take the IELTS test, they need to take these classes because you learn some strategies to take this test.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's one of the key things. I am a native speaker, but I've also taken the IELTS test, and it was really difficult for me when I took it. Definitely more challenging than I thought. Also, having taught IELTS before, it's really helpful, I think, to have somebody coach you in all the test taking strategies and time management and everything that will help you to get a higher score on the exam.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
And can you tell us about like your class? Is there homework? Do students do mock exams in the class? What is like a typical lesson?
So every week students have a mock test and they get a full test. I can be their examiners even for their speaking. So they take the full test, exactly like the IELTS test. So they have listening test, reading test, and writing test, task 1 and task 2, plus the speaking. That's happening every week. Plus, on the daily basis, part of the class, it's a teaching and discussing, and the other part is gonna, again, we have kind of daily practices too on the IELTS test. So generally, as a teacher, I try to work on 4 different skills every day in my classes. So I have kind of planned or module for my class and make sure that, for every hour of the class, there is focus on different skills, not just on one skill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that keeps it interesting, I think. It's not all just a writing class. All the skills are equally important for the exam and also for their English ability, right?
That's true. That's true. That's what we're, I'm trying to have in my class, focusing on 4 different skills every day. And then having a mock test. Usually students really enjoy that test because they can see their improvement, they can see their scores, and the curiosity of what the answer is just really interesting for the students. So it's tiring, but the students enjoy it, the mock test that is happening every week.
Yeah, and I think even though it's tiring, at the end of it, when they get their exam result, it's always very satisfying to see like you can do it, you've succeeded. Yeah,
it is satisfying, and it also motivates them and helps them understand, just which part that they need to work on more. And and I try, they also write the essays, task 1 and task 2, and I give them feedback. I don't give them the score because I'm not an IELTS examiner, but I will definitely give them feedback and comments and correcting their mistakes, and they have to focus and just focus on those problems and try to fix it. So even for the writing, they have kind of one-on-one, just feedback and comments on their essays too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so even if students are not planning to take the official exam, they can still work on each of the skills and improve their English in general, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's my goal. That's my goal.
Great. So maybe we can look ahead in the slides to some of the features of this program. There are, like Miriam said, practice exams and really detailed feedback that you get from the teachers that will help you improve all of these areas. Students will also study some different grammar forms that are encountered on the official exam, so you get a lot of exposure to that high level of like academic English. There's also a lot of vocabulary skills, I know, in the IELTS program. This is one of the big things on the exam, is a lot of difficult vocabulary that you might not find in everyday life, but in those topics that are in the reading or in the writing or the listening, students will find a lot of new words that they might not have seen before. And this program really helps to package those into useful topics that they can study to prepare for that. And of course, homework tasks, always good to improve each area. So let's talk about some of the modules. We are using the most up-to-date course books and practice exams for the IELTS program. And some of the modules that we have listed on the next slide here, starting from languages and communications. I think just one more slide ahead. Yeah, languages and communication. So students will study what is language, what is communication, all the factors involved in that. Keeping fit and healthy diet, city attractions, education, history, discovery of the past. All of these things you will find on the IELTS exam. These are really big topics of that, but also useful in general life. So you're improving general English and learning English at the same time as you're preparing for the exam, which is a really great feature of this program. If we can go ahead to the next slide. Another list of some of our program modules. Miriam, each week is one of these topics, right?
Yes, a week or, usually 10 days, depending on the topic. And yes, for example, this week we're working on the arts and previous week was fitness. Yes.
That's great. Nice. So it continues all types of topics, jobs, time, environment, animals, decisions. So whatever you're interested in, there will be a topic there. And the things that maybe students don't know very well, maybe things like housing and accommodation. This is not a typical topic, but they would learn the vocabulary to be able to discuss that topic in this program. Do you have, Miriam, any favorite module from our topics, or any that you really enjoy teaching or the students like?
No, actually, I think all of them are good and useful, and students learn. They can learn from, but some of them are easier to teach than the other ones. That's what I can say. Because some of them are much more familiar. And the students have more background, specifically when it gets, for everyday life, they might be able to talk about, animals, but when it comes to, just a little bit more academic, writing about animal rights. So that makes it a little bit complicated, but I think it's necessary, because if they want to go to university, any topics might, they might have with people, and IELTS can help them, just to participate in any topics and feel confident, and feel that they can handle any topics, and not only write about it, but even talk about it. So
Great. Nice. Maybe Corey, I'll ask you the next question. We have IELTS here in Toronto, but also in Vancouver and Victoria. Can you tell us a little bit about the typical student body? Like, who are these students? Where are they from? Like a profile.
Sure. So we get lots of different students who take the IELTS at both our Vancouver and Victoria campus. So some students do it for academic purposes, but we do also get students who are interested in general IELTS, and so our teachers try to accommodate both, and they're able to do that. I would say the majority of our students do want to take the IELTS test, right? So they will take the class, so they get that practice and that they can prepare. Well, a lot of students also want it because they just want to improve their vocabulary, like you said. So they want more academic. They want kind of they're okay, right, with lots of practice, and there's so much feedback in IELTS that they really enjoy doing it. So I'd say it's kind of an equal for both students who need the test, will go to college or university, and then a lot of students who will do it just actually even for immigration purposes as well, but a lot of students who want general improvement will take it.
Yeah, and right now I know in Toronto our students are coming from like Japan, Mexico, Colombia, Korea. It's very mixed. In the other campuses too, we have different nationalities, so students can have a chance to practice their English with people from around the world and get more exposure and more experience, which is always a huge benefit.
Yeah, for sure. The IELTS class always has quite a bit of mixed nationalities, since it's such an internationally renowned test, so everybody knows about it for sure.
Great. So let's move on to admission requirements. So for our IELTS program, usually to enter the program, students should have about an intermediate level. So we do have an entrance exam for our IELTS program, or if students have any official recognized English test score that they can provide to us, we will be able to admit students into the program with that. So that includes TOEFL, TOEIC. If they've already taken IELTS, if you have at least a 3.5, you qualify to join our program, and then we can help you to boost your score a little bit higher and take that where you want to go. We also accept Duolingo score of 65. And a lot of our students who are joining the program are coming from our ESL program. So this is either the skills focused program level 2 or the Skills Combined level 5 ESL program. So that seems to be a really popular route for a lot of people, is to start ESL classes, reach intermediate level, and then transition into the IELTS or the Pathway program. Okay, we may have an interview for the admission into the program depending on how you come, but generally it's about an intermediate level.
Yeah, and I'll just add, Heather, that we do really encourage students to have a good basis of English because they're going to really struggle. So if you can not really put sentences together very well, our English classes, our ESL classes will really help you do that. So it's a good idea for sure to get a solid foundation because, like Heather said, the IELTS test is really difficult. A lot of it is, of course, it's all timed, right? You only have so much time. The tasks are very specific. So really, we encourage anyone who's, maybe their level is a little bit lower, definitely take our ESL first, and then you'll really be able to progress faster once you are in IELTS.
Mm-hmm, definitely, yeah. Once they have that base, they're able to move along a lot faster. And our IELTS program, I believe, is running 12 weeks, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's a 12-week program. Sometimes students want to even take it longer.
Yeah, we have some like that.
We definitely in Vancouver and Victoria, I'm sure we've also had those students, and that's fine too. We do, I would say the average student is at least about, usually 8 to 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And definitely in that time, if students are taking the IELTS exam, I would say, at least a month or so is a good amount of time to prepare for it and really know what you're doing and not have any surprises when you get to the actual exam.
Mm-hmm.
So if we talk a little bit about the schedule, this program is running in all 3 of our campuses, and we also have online and on campus and full-time and part-time options. So it's super flexible these days, and all of our teachers are really great and experienced with teaching these different kinds of formats online. Now everybody has gotten used to it this year. And on-campus classes are running in Victoria and Vancouver as well, right?
Actually, Vancouver, we're just actually running for the moment right now together with Victoria. Mm-hmm. So we will be reopening our on-campus Vancouver class shortly. We hope to do that in a few weeks. So right now, students can join the hybrid class, and they can, from the comfort of their home, they can join the class with Miriam in Victoria.
Perfect. Great. So we have lots of options and also different time zones. So because we have campuses across the country, you can study in Toronto time or West Coast time in the morning or in the afternoon. We also have part-time, that's the morning section. So there's a lot of flexibility for schedules. If you're also working, you'll be able to study after you work, or if you have other classes, you can join the program after that. Another major part of IELTS and why people are taking it these days is for pathway and also for immigration. So maybe we can ask Elias for some input on these things. So how can IELTS help students enter university? Like, what is the requirement? What score do they need to reach to be able to enter Canadian universities with an IELTS exam?
Sure. Thanks, Heather. There's a quick question here. Maybe we can answer that before I go on to my answers. Marcelo is asking, is the CAE certificate accepted to join the course? I believe we accept just any English proficiency scores, right?
Yeah, CAE is a recognized English exam, so definitely we can take that. I'm not sure exactly what the score would be. We have to check, but case by case, if there are other exams around, we can assess those.
And just last week, we actually had a prospective student who had a CELTIP score, for example, so it's fine. So as you all know, if you want to study in an English-speaking country, if you want to go to a college or university, especially in Canada, you need to provide English proficiency. And how you can do that, you can just basically take the IELTS exam. And usually colleges and universities for their undergraduate studies, they require an overall IELTS score of 6.5, no band less than 6.0. Depending on the program and the institution, they might accept you with a lower IELTS score for their undergraduate certificate or diploma programs, such as, I don't know, maybe some marketing diploma program. You might also get in with an IELTS 6.0 overall. If you want to do master's or PhD or postgraduate studies, in those cases, you might need IELTS 7.0 or IELTS, in some cases, IELTS 7.5. So if you want to study in an English-speaking country and English is not your first language, you need to provide an English proficiency score, and you can do so by taking the IELTS exam.
Mm-hmm. So a good tip probably for students is if you know what country or what school you would like to go to for your college or university program, check the language requirements so you know what goal you're working towards with IELTS.
And taking IELTS will give you more options. You can also get into these colleges or universities through our pathway program or by taking other exams as well. But even sometimes with pathway programs, students will need to take additional English in the partner institutions. Mm-hmm. It's rare. Most of them are direct entry, but in some cases, they need to take additional English. But if they have their IELTS scores, they'll have many options to choose from.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the, I guess, quickest ways to get your credentials established. So exactly. As long as you're prepared to write the exam and be successful on it, you can get that done in one exam session and then start the applications.
Yep.
Yeah, great. And what about for immigration? If we have students who are planning to come to Canada for permanent residency, how does IELTS play into that?
IELTS is vital in this process. Canadian government only recognizes two exams. One of them is IELTS General Training or CELPIP General Training. Obviously, CELPIP is a Canadian exam, and you may not be able to write it outside Canada. So IELTS is widely known. If you want to apply for an immigration program in Canada, you have to provide IELTS general score, and depending on the program you're applying, the requirements vary by the program, but usually the higher IELTS score you have, the higher the chances of immigrating to Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it shows that you're better able to adapt to life in an English-speaking country and be able to work here and study here successfully.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like you said, IELTS is one of the most recognized. There's just two that are accepted for the PR program. So definitely a lot of advantages to taking IELTS over some other exams. It's possible it's a little harder than some exams, but it's going to pay off in the end, and the result is really useful. I had some students previously who took the IELTS exam to apply for a promotion in their job, just to show they have more useful skills to the company. So this is another reason, is to make yourself more valuable and prove like you can do it and it's recognized.
Exactly. Yeah. And IELTS scores are valid for 2 years. So even if you're not going to apply for a PR in Canada, or you're just going to come here, learn English, improve your English, and you want to go back to your country and just work for a global company, for example, it's always good to have your IELTS score. Some global companies do require IELTS if English is part of their jobs. Even here in Canada, some professions, you need to, for example, in my case, I'm an immigration consultant, and to be able to obtain my license, I had to take IELTS academic 8 years ago. So obviously I had to go to school. I went to UBC, and to be able to take that program, Canadian Immigration Law, I had to take IELTS upfront, and then to be able to write the exam to become an immigration consultant, I had to submit an IELTS score. So in some professions here in Canada, you also have to have that in hand.
Yeah, and as you said, it's valid for 2 years. So even if you are starting out your studies and then you change your program or you change your profession, it allows some flexibility in what you're going to do. You can always add English to anything that you're planning. So if you change programs, change jobs, change countries, you can take this score with you and carry on.
Exactly.
And what about in other countries? So not all of our students are going to come to Canada. Can they use IELTS in like Australia, in the UK, in Europe?
Yep, pretty much wherever the English is used is the first language or the official language. It's, as all of you explained, it's internationally recognized all around the world, and it's the most one of the most common exams. So wherever you go, and this might be the case, you can learn English here in Canada, but you want to study in the US, in Australia, in the UK, you would also need to provide an IELTS score. So again, it'll help you wherever you go.
Great. And there's a question from Juan Hernandez. This is probably for you, Elias, as well. Should you take the CELPIP or the IELTS to immigrate? And is one of these ones better for immigration?
I can't say one is better than the other, but it depends on the person. Most people, because they're applying for PR, they're coming from elsewhere, right? They are used to studying IELTS. So most of the time, taking the IELTS exam is convenient, is more convenient for PR applicants. But as I said, you can either take IELTS general training or CELPIP general training, and one of them will work fine, just fine.
Great. Another question just above. Do I take all parts of the test on the same day? Which part do I take first? So the IELTS exam, actually, the whole test is done on the same day. I think there's also 2 options for computer or paper-based, which is great. And also in our IELTS program, we try to, as Miriam said, split up the skills. So you study each skill every day and get used to practicing all of those things at the same time. So our program is following the format of the exam as well, which is really helpful.
And IELTS is offering this like 2 options, paper-based and computer-based. And as far as I know, other tests like CELPIP, they're computer-based, and sometimes people find it hard to speak to a computer. That's why they tend to choose IELTS in most cases. So that's another advantage of IELTS right there.
Yeah, if you're anything like me, I prefer papers and pencils. It's a lot easier for me to think and track and make notes. So.
They might not be fast typers, so I don't know how it works. I've taken IELTS academic paper-based 3-4 years ago. So, and I prepared for my exam here at SSLC Vancouver campus with our IELTS teacher. Even though I studied here, I did my high school, my college, my university here. I never needed IELTS or TOEFL or anything else. But to become an immigration consultant, they asked for an IELTS exam, so I had to. I didn't have much time, so I sat down with our teacher, and she gave me all the tips, and I was just fine.
Yeah, so even for some native speakers or near native speakers who have the whole education here, you never know, it might be required somewhere down the road. So why not?
Can I add something to
Yes.
this question? Yeah, as far as I know, I don't know, but I know in Victoria, a speaking test is the day before. Usually Friday is a speaking test, and then on Saturdays, they have, just the other skills, first listening, then reading, and then writing with no breaks.
In the official exam?
In the official exam, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So maybe there's some variations in different locations.
I think you can do it either on the same day like in the afternoon, they'll just schedule it, or you can do it day after or day before. For
Oh,
the
that's
speaking,
true.
right?
Yeah, that they can, yes, that's the option here too.
So
Yes.
you can have a break and then do your speaking test the next day and have some time to relax and prepare. Yeah, great. Maybe we can pass it over to Corey now to talk a little bit about students who want to travel to Canada to take this program. Can you tell us a little bit about the arrival procedures now with the pandemic? I know there's a lot of new rules and changes that have happened. So if students are planning to come, what do they need to keep in mind?
There is definitely a lot of things students need to know. It's not necessarily complicated, it's just a lot of steps. And so at SSLC, we've actually had other webinars just about coming to Canada, so people can always check those out, and we can maybe put the link in there for them. And really, we've created a pre-arrival guide. So in terms of, SSLC, all of our campuses are on the designated list. So that means that once you're accepted, that you can apply for a study permit, study visa, and you will get it because we are an approved school. It means that when you come to Canada, we'll help you, you book the hotel quarantine for a couple days. That's in place right now. Then we'll help you with your post-quarantine. So while you're in self-isolation, we'll help you with that accommodation. Our staff are checking on our students. We're making sure that when you come, you have a list of everything you need. You've there's for example, there's an app and you have to enter all your information on the app. So we make sure this is what you guys need to do. So we basically hold our students' hands, right? Because we want to make
very
sure.
Clear.
It's stressful sometimes coming to another country, right? Even I get stressed sometimes when you pack for a vacation. And so this is something where, you're coming here. We want to make sure that it's as smooth as possible. And so definitely we've got handbooks. We've got them on our website as well. So anyone can go to studySSLC.com and check out the pre-arrival guide. There's 2 different guides, one for BC, and that covers Vancouver and Victoria, and then one for Toronto, because Canada, of course, provincial government has some different things. But really, students can feel confident that if they choose to study at SSLC, we will help get you here safely. And then once you are here, you can safely study at school as well for Vancouver and Victoria, the 2 campuses that are open right now.
Perfect. And I know on campus, if students are studying there, all the safety protocols are in place. Everybody's wearing masks, social distancing, hand sanitizer everywhere.
There are jars of hand sanitizer around. Even before students come to campus, so while they're in their home stay, finishing up their self-isolation, we do an orientation. And so, of course, it's general school orientation always, but now we include safety information. So even before they come, they know, okay, I have to go to the front desk. I get my temperature checked. I wash my hands. I go to class. They know everything that they need to do. And of course, we have signs posted around. So for sure, our campuses are following all the government safety requirements.
Perfect. So for on campus, it's totally safe and organized. And as you said, very clear with what steps you need to take and check off the list. For online, for online classes, I will just add in Toronto, we also have online programs. And if you're planning to join online classes, it's important to have a computer or a tablet with a webcam so you can interact with the class and with the teacher. Also, you need to have a microphone or a headset like everybody is using for their music, a stable internet connection, and hopefully a quiet place or a room in your house that you will not be interrupted or disturbed. Everything else will be provided. We have virtual materials that can be sent out, and we are teaching the online program via Zoom. So I think these days most people are totally understanding how to use Zoom and can follow those instructions very easily.
And you can just take it from anywhere, wherever you are.
Exactly.
At the comfort of your home, you can just take it from anywhere.
Yeah, and you can stay home, keep your pajamas.
Yes, there's a question here if we can take IELTS online with SSLC. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we have it in 2 different time zones, so there's some different options there. Elias, maybe we can ask this question to you from Dugu Ming. Can international students who just study English work in Canada?
No.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, students cannot work even if they have study permits. They can't work if they're taking only English. If they're studying ESL, this includes IELTS, Pathway, and all our other programs here at SSLC.
But once they finish the IELTS exam, or if they apply to university, they can work while they're studying a university program, right?
Exactly. They can work part-time during their studies, and they can work full-time during their scheduled breaks.
Yeah, so not at the first part when you're preparing for IELTS, but after that, if you have post-secondary plans, you'll be able to do some work.
Yeah, and what they can do, they can just start studying online with us, online IELTS, or even our online pathway from their home countries. They can complete that program so that they don't have to pay, rent, homestay, or anything here. They can complete that from their home countries, and once they have their IELTS scores or they complete our pathway, they can just apply for their study permits and come here for their college or university studies and start working right away.
Yeah, so definite advantage of online programs. You don't have to jump into living abroad right away. You can build up to it and then come when you're ready.
And I also suggest some of our students, sometimes they want to start from our pathway directly, but their English is not quite there. I suggest them to enroll maybe 4 to 8 weeks in IELTS first, because it's more academic, right? And it'll prepare them also for our pathway program as well. So they can definitely start with IELTS and then move on to our pathway program.
Yeah, so we have ESL, we have IELTS, we have pathway, we have specialized programs, a lot of different options. So either before or after your IELTS, we have a lot of ways to get you there, and also after that, whatever your plans will be.
Exactly.
And Miriam, let's ask this question to you from Zoe. My IELTS score is 6 now. I would like to get 6.5. If I study with you, how long until I get 6.5? I know this is a really common question. How long does it take to improve my score?
Wow. It's a difficult question to answer.
Yeah.
You know, this 0.5, it sounds
depends on you.
6. I don't know. It
Yeah.
depends. Yeah, that depends on you. It depends on you. Honestly, it's just, yeah, I can't really answer this question. There's no specific time for anything. For one person, it might take, depends on you and depends on your skill and how you study, and if you find out what your problems are, maybe I can just, not me, I mean the IELTS teacher can help you to realize which parts are your weak points, and then maybe quickly, or I don't know, just very tough. I can't answer this question, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't have a straightforward answer for that.
But yeah, it's a very common question, I think, most people.
Yeah,
but I think
true.
one of the advantages of our program is that there are mock tests every week.
Yeah.
So before you even take the exam for the first time, you'll have an awareness of what are the weak points that you need to be careful of and how to focus on and improve those skills before you start. For Zoe, IELTS score is at 6 now. I think she's already taken the exam. So probably the next time that you take it, you'll have a better understanding of how the exam works, the different sections, the time. Time is a big issue for a lot of students to complete all the tasks. So no specific time, but as Miriam said, it depends.
Yeah, and our IELTS program is flexible, so you can definitely start with 4 weeks and then see where you're at. And if you need more training, you can always extend another 4 weeks, and then you can challenge the test. You can take the official test. If you need more, after 4 weeks, you can just take it on a weekly basis. You can you can do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, and you can also do that. But minimum, I would say maybe 4 weeks to start with.
Yeah,
But
it takes some time to get into it.
Yeah, something that I can say for sure from experience that the results of the mock tests are very close to the result of the test, the official test. So definitely, it's not exactly the same. We have breaks, but still it's very similar. I mean, just it will give you a good idea where you are and what you should do and how much more time can you spend, just on working on your skills.
Exactly. Great. So yeah, the more time you spend, obviously, the more prepared, hopefully, you will be to take the exam. But I think this is a benefit of our program is that our teachers are very experienced in evaluating the tasks and giving really helpful feedback. So thanks to Miriam and to our other teachers who are able to help our students in this way. Great. One last question here. Elias, I'm not sure if you're able to give information on this, but again, from Zoe, she's in Canada now and her study permit will end at the end of June. She will extend the status for 3 months with a visitor visa. Can she study with SSLC for IELTS or EPE? She's planning to study DBA at UVic, one of our pathway partners.
Yeah. You can definitely do that. You don't have to extend as a visitor. What we can do is you can first sign up for our IELTS or EP program. And then we can also apply to UV Continuing Studies and get your conditional letter of acceptance, and you can extend your study permit with both LOAs. You can definitely do that, yeah. And our next, we have a weekly intake for our IELTS program, of course. You can start just any Monday. For our EP program, our official pathway program, the next intake is actually next Monday, May 3rd. And the one after that, it starts every 4 weeks. So I believe May 31st, and so on.
Yeah, so depending on what the plan is, IELTS is very flexible. Join anytime, any week. The pathway program every 4 weeks. Great.
And as you probably know, the Canadian government introduces new programs almost every month now, and everyone is trying to get IELTS or CELPIP. And if you want to, if you're planning on applying for a PR here in Canada, and if you want to improve your score, you can definitely, do face-to-face, online, or hybrid IELTS, and we can definitely prepare you for that.
Great. Another question from Mert, maybe Corey or Miriam. I'm currently preparing for IELTS, but my goal is to enroll in the co-op diploma program in Canada. Can it be enough for this program thanks to IELTS? So will IELTS help them get into a diploma co-op program?
Of course, if he's planning on taking the IELTS exam, the official exam, he can use that. And but we also offer co-op programs, right? We have diploma programs here in Vancouver at our sister school, Vancouver International College Career Campus, VICCC. We can also, he doesn't really need IELTS if he wants to enroll, but it's always good to, as we discussed, have IELTS and also submit that with his study permit application. So definitely, it'll help him get into one of our co-op programs here.
Great. And I think a lot of students who study in Canada, they eventually plan to stay here long term. So having that IELTS score will help them with any PR plans that they have after that.
Exactly.
Great. So as we said, we have IELTS class starting every Monday. We have online, we have on campus, we have hybrid. Different time zones available from Toronto and from Vancouver and Victoria. So it's very flexible to suit any schedule that you have. Also, to recap, IELTS will help you with any university plans in Canada or abroad if you're planning to study in an English-speaking country or in a program that's delivered in English. Also, for immigration purposes, IELTS is really a key for entry into Canada, also to other countries. And if you just want to see how is your English, you want to compare IELTS is internationally recognized. So if your IELTS is 6, that means the same thing around the world. Everybody knows what IELTS 6 is capable or not capable of doing in their life with the language. So it's really just going to add a lot to your studies or your profession or your interest in how is your English. Yeah.
Mariam just got a compliment from her students. For example, Arif is a great example. He wanted to enroll in EPE to go to one of our pathway partners, but he was not able to pass our entrance exam. So I suggested him to do 4 weeks of IELTS first and then take the test again. So he's doing just that in our Victoria campus, and he's taking it from Turkey. He's taking online hybrid classes from Turkey. So here you go, great example.
Yeah, this is great to have also students joining in the hybrid or the online from around the world. Some students are studying in the evening or the morning, but all of them at the same time with us. So it's a good opportunity to keep your life as it is, but just add an extra class in your free time if you have some space in the evenings to practice your English. Great. So do you guys have any other comments, anything to add about our program for IELTS for post-secondary studies in Canada?
Not really. I think we talked about everything, and we will be happy to see our students join our classes, and we'll be happy to see them succeed in their IELTS exams, in their future, in their studies here in Canada, or applying for a PR, whatever they want to do with it. We'll be just happy to assist them.
Perfect. Great. And one last question from Daisy. Can I try courses on the IELTS before paying? We do arrange some trial classes for students. If you would like to contact one of our advisors, you can visit the website studySSLC.com and get more information about the program, and also reach out to one of our advisors who also speak your language, which is really helpful. So we are available anytime. Miriam, you wanted to add something?
I just want to add, just as you mentioned, studying for the IELTS, in my opinion, it pays, as you said, it pays off at the end. It's challenging test. It is, it's not an easy test, but if you work for it and study for it, in my opinion, it's very useful, because as I just said before, not just for passing the test, for coming to Canada or going to any country that the English is the native, just for your English, it's very good. Whatever you do, the time that you spend learning it is worth it. And you will be in future you would appreciate the time that you spend in studying for the IELTS.
Definitely. Great point. All right, so let's wrap it up there. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope to see everybody online or on campus for our IELTS program in the future. And you can visit our website, studySSLC.com, for more information and to talk to an advisor.
I just typed my email address for that there.
Perfect. Yes, Elias is available to help you.
Okay.
And reach out anytime.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.